Well, hello. This is not the video I wanted to make, and certainly it's not the video I intended to make. I was actually going to do Leonard Cohen's Suzanne, but I can't remember what night it was. I think it was Thursday evening. I follow Graham Nash on Facebook, and just before I went to bed, just 10 o'clock, I just checked Facebook, and Graham Nash had announced that David Crosby had died. And I was really taken aback. I just shouted down to officers. I went, "Oh no, you're not going to believe it, David Crosby's died." And it shouldn't be surprising, to be honest with you, because he was that age. He was in his 80s, but it was like one of these guys that you thought, he'll live forever, because he seems to have been around forever and gone through so much, health-wise. And even just recently, I've been reading an interview I think he did in Uncut magazine, saying that how he was still, very prolific. He was writing more songs, recording more songs during, COVID time, prior to COVID, than he had done for years. I think he released about 3 solo albums in the last few years, and they put together a band after Crosby, Stills and Nash had broken up, and I'd listened to some of the YouTube songs he's doing. I thought, you know what, if he comes over here, I'll definitely go and see him, because I had seen Crosby, Stills and Nash about 4 or 5 times, going back to whenever it was, the 90s. And the last tour that they did, luckily I got to take my son to it, and it was quite a moment when all of us were singing. He was singing along to Sweet Judy Blue Eyes with me, and that was the last time that I ever get to see David Crosby performing. And out of all the members of Crosby, Stills and Nash, he was the one that I don't know. He seemed to be the most rebellious, and he was the one you were instantly drawn to, because he was quite controversial in some of the things he said. Even saying at the Monterey Pop Festival when he was appearing with the Byrds, I think he was even saying at that point, because he got drafted into play with the Byrds because I think Neil Young had dropped out. Oh no, it's with Buffalo Springfield. I think he played Buffalo Springfield and with the Byrds, and I think he announced, it was his Younger Bird song. I think he announced that JFK hadn't been, shot by Lee Harvey Oswald, and that it was a cover-up and blah 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 blah. So he's quite outspoken, and I've got a lot of Crosby, Stills and Nash albums, and I adored the songs that he did, and I adored the vocal work that he did along with especially Graham Nash, and I bought the album, David Crosby's, I think it's his first solo album, which came out in '71, called If I Could Only Remember My Name. And I bought it purely because I think it was in the top 100 albums of all time, and saying this, of all the members of Crosby, Stills and Nash, not Young obviously, this was the best solo work. And I bought the CD many years ago, and I was trying to find the CD before, and I can't find it. I know I've got it, but I've just, I've got unfortunately hundreds of CDs. Obviously they're not all in correct alphabetical order. I tried to find it, couldn't find it. And there was a track on that which instantly, when I heard the album, stood out as the best track on the album, and maybe the best thing that David Crosby's ever done, and that's a song called Laughing. And it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's ethereal, it's dreamy, it's got fantastic harmonies. It's got members of Jefferson Airplane, Grateful Dead are on it, Graham Nash is on it, Joni Mitchell's on it, and on the song the steel pedal guitars played by Jerry Garcia. And even in the last interview I read, somebody says, have you ever thought of going out on tour and touring that solo album? And he says, well, half of those people are dead now, especially Jerry Garcia. And then I was looking at stuff that he'd done live a few years back with the group he put together, and he did do Laughing, and I was really impressed. And before it, he tells a story of before doing the song, to say that he'd wrote the song for George Harrison. Whether he wrote it for George Harrison to record, I don't know, but he wrote it about George Harrison. And you know, it's up to that point, I don't think anybody knew what the song was about, because, you know, a lot of the lyrics were, you know, ambiguous or vague like most artists' lyrics. But to think that it was actually wrote about George, and that George never recorded it for whatever reason. But it's just a fantastic song. It's an amazing song, especially if you hear, you know, the following day on the Friday when I was driving, I must have played Laughing. I played the whole album twice, because I've got it on my iPod. I played the whole album twice, and then I just played Laughing about 3 times, you know, just to listen to it, because it is just probably, in my opinion, the best thing that David Crosby ever did. I just absolutely love this song, especially the very last bit, when the very last harmony where everybody's involved, and you hear Joni Mitchell right on the top, thinking she's singing In the Sun. It's just, oh my god, it's breathtaking. It just gets me every single time. It's wonderful. I'll never ever and the thing about it with songs, if you are a musician, sometimes you can pick up what every instrument's doing in albums, and I think it tends to ruin it a wee bit, because you end up concentrating on, you know, different, what's the bass player doing, you know, what's the guitarist doing. And I've never done this with this song ever. I've always listened to it as a whole, and I'm more interested on what is making what song, what, you know, what instrument is making what part on the song. I listen to it whole. I don't want to break it down. I just want to listen to it as a whole piece, because it is just a wonderful song. So anyway, yeah, sad, really sad, you know, unfortunately that so many people I've cherished all my life are literally dropping thick and fast towards the end of 2022 and now 2023. There's been no hold up on it, unfortunately, and of course more's going to happen, because that's it. None of us can dodge old age and death. It's the way it is. However, I'm going to leave it there. If anything you can do today is just click onto the link and play this song Laughing by David Crosby, and hopefully, if you've never heard the track before, that you'll be absolutely taken with it as much as I was then and still am today. Anyway, enjoy your day. Bye bye.